Are moving skills from Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I understand that the skill list is already quite adaptable, but that is only apparent after you've mastered the system. Yes, you can mix and match skill proficiencies and different ability scores, but the game presents the two like they're married together. You rarely see a mix of skills and ability scores that are not reflective of how they're represented on the character sheet. But why am I removing skills? Number one, redundancy. For the skills that you are not proficient in, the modifier on your sheet is your ability score modifier reprinted. That means that the same number representing the same idea is put on your sheet more times than is necessary. Secondly, skills are impersonal. If my character is proficient in Arcana, my skill list does not tell you the specific circumstance in which they came about that proficiency. They did graduate from Magical Academy, where they taught by a mentor. Is arcane knowledge an innate feature of their species? The game simply notes it as proficient with Arcana. If you look at the skill list of a character sheet, you do not learn the specifics of that character's story. You just have a list of things they're good at. I want the statistics of my D&D character to be more narratively evocative. Lastly, because skills do not reflect the specifics of a character, they fail to outline the weaknesses and limits of that character. If a person is proficient with persuasion, they will always have the same modifier when attempting to make rolls to persuade. But that's not how persuading people works. What is persuasive to one person is repulsive to another. There's no blanket persuasiveness that exists. So I would want modifiers that would only activate when thematic to who that character is. Like if my character is a noble, I want their nobility to boost their rolls. But if I'm talking to a person who does not respect their nobility, that aspect of them should not give them the modifier. And this avoids having one character be the face of the group, because each person may be more or less persuasive depending on who we are speaking to. Okay, but what is my solution? Starting by removing skill checks and saving throws. Ability checks are now the only D20 tests in the game. Bonus that was previously added by your proficiency bonus now comes from what I call a trait. A trait can be any word or short phrase that describes an aspect of your character. When that word or phrase is thematic to the ability check that you are doing, the trait's modifier is added to the roll. That you have the trait Arcanist +2. Any ability check that is related to your profession as an Arcanist now gains a +2 modifier. How is this different from skills? Firstly, it answers for the redundancy issue because one trait can represent what multiple modifiers did before. Secondly, traits can be more than skills. Maybe you want to note a personality as a trait, or maybe you can represent aspects of how your character is connected to factions and forces in this world. Traits get more descriptive about who your character is. You can learn a character's story by reading their trait list. And lastly, it avoids the situation where one character is proficient at a skill and they handle all matters tied to that skill. Your proficiency with investigation won't help you if you aren't knowledgeable on the specific field of study needed to identify what's going on here. There should be a link in the description to a document where you can get this rule for free. Thank you for your time.